my name is Z, and today we are talking about coloring your drawings. So in most software, some of which were not directly made for animation, such as Flash and Photoshop, doing your color usually means just creating another drawing layer and putting your colors on there, resulting in many layers, one for each line art. However, this is not how Harmony works. In Harmony, you have to consider your drawing as an actual animation cell. In the past, roughs were made on paper, while final frames were done on plastic cells with the line on one side and the color painted on the other side so that, the paint would not go on top of the line art. So in Harmony, it's kind of the same. You have your two drawing layers here and here in my timeline, and these drawing layers actually have multiple levels. These levels can be found right here. If you don't want them to be here, you can also move them elsewhere. It's the toolbar that is called Art Layers. If I go here and I right click and I press Art Layer, it's going to appear right there, right? But I prefer to have them in my camera view, so I'm just gonna... And I like to have them here. That's what I like. So like I said, the toolbar is called Art Layer because in the documentation it's called Art Layer. I just decided to call them Art Level because after years of teaching, there's way too many things in Harmony that are called layers. You have drawing layers, there's effect layers, there's pick layers, there's art layers. So in my book, well, I don't have a book, but if I write one day, it could be like that. You have the layers, which are the nodes, and the layers in your timeline. And what is within these layers, I call them levels. So you have the line art level, the color level, and the underlay level, and the overlay level, okay? Layers, level. So in your camera view, you can see both at the same time. So it's easy to make the mistake of not knowing which one you're working on. So let me head to the drawing view. In the drawing view by default, you won't see both layers at the same time. So it's very easy to just understand how they work. So I have my line art here and my color art here. And of course, I have two extras, which are the overlay and the underlay. We're gonna get to that. Now we're gonna start fresh and learn how to color our animation. Alright, so now I started fresh. I removed all the colors on my cleanup layer here, and I'm going to show you how you would do your color after you do your cleanup. If you don't know how to do your cleanup, I have multiple videos about how to clean up in Harmony. Just go check these out. Today we are focusing on coloring. First, of course, make sure that your lines are closed, otherwise your paint is not going to paint very well. But then if you have your line art and you want to color, where do you go from there? So at first, it's tempting to just stay on the line art and just start to paint your frames. But this is not the way to go in Harmony, because since we have integrated compositing and lots of different things, it's actually better to always separate your line and your color when you work. Unless you're doing a small project just for you, it's fine. Usually if you want to push it a bit further or work at it in collaboration and stuff, it's better to separate them. So that's what we're going to do today. So take your line art and then go to your drawing view because it's easier. And if you go to your color art, by default, you won't have anything there. So you need to create your color layer. So to do that, very simple, just press here. You can also find it into your tool properties of your select tool. It's right here. What this will do is transfer your line art to your color art in strokes. Strokes in Harmony are invisible lines. So let's click here. And if you don't see it, you can just press on K in your color art or any view. It will activate the stroke view. Strokes, as I said, are invisible lines. They're invisible because they will always be at size 0, no matter what you do. Which means that if you want to see them, you do have to press on K to see your vector art. There. The fun thing with these lines is that they're exactly close to each other. So if I color this hair with the hair color, and then I go and paint like the dark side of the hair. If I zoom in, you see that there's a blue line because this is my stroke, but if I press on K, then it's seamless. You don't have any space in between your colors. This is the power of vector. It's really great. There, so the fun thing is that with these lines, they are exactly close to each other, creating seamless vector art that looks amazing, by the way. When you're done with your color, it's fun to look at it without the line art. You're like, wow, this is so cool. The reason why we have to do this is to have fewer layers to worry about, especially in the node view, making the scenes lighter and more easy to manage. It also serves a great deal for comp since you can now isolate the line from the colors. So when you do your compositing, you'll be able to maybe put an effect only on the hair and not on the line, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So sometimes when you do compositing, you will want to put an effect just on the color of the hair and not the line. So then you can use the art layers. So color, art, and line art. And you'll be able to separate your art into your line and your color. And the fun thing with these layers is that if I click on the eye layer here, which is on top of the other, and I do a stroke, I can even have one element and place it in between my other drawing, but like in between its art layers, like that, which is really great. Which also means that if I want to put an effect just on the color art, I can. So let's say that I want to get a transparency, for example. You can go here, press Alt. So now only the hair is transparent instead of the hair and the line, which is great if you're trying to do a ghost. And if I want only the line art to glow, I can go get a glow node and just have the line art glow. And I can even have multiple strings, so multiple times your line art can show up. So it's very fun. Oh, by the way, you can click on this eye here to see all of your levels at the same time. But I don't recommend it because you can make mistakes and you don't know which one you're on. Because it's easy to just color your line art instead and be like, oh no, crap. So this happens. And yeah, so let me just color this really quickly. There you go. If I go back to my camera, now I'll have all my thing colored. And that's great. Now, I used overlay and underlay a lot for cutout. I don't use them all the time for traditional art, but I'm going to show you in a future tutorials how they can be very useful. If you want to know how to get them, super easy. Just go to your preferences, and then go in advanced, and you should be able to click on support overlay and underlay art. If you don't have them active, you're only going to see line art and color art, which is the default, because it's easier. But yeah, if you press here, you're going to have access to the 4 art layers. So of course, the overlay is on top. So if I go here, and I draw a blue dot on the overlay, I'm going to see it here. If I go on the line art, I'm going to draw a purple dot. On the color art, I have the color, and on the underlay, I'm just going to draw a pink dot here. So then if I see all of them, you see that on the overlay, there's the blue circle. On the line art, I put the purple one. And on the underlay, I went ahead and I put the pink one. So that's what we have. They're all in different orders. And you can see it here in the little stack drawing. Alright, so I hope you had fun, and I'm gonna see you again next week for more knowledge. Bye bye!